First of all, I want to say that I haven't been able to watch the past two NASCAR races for various reasons. And today, even for the race at the Charlotte Roval, I was only able to watch about half of it. But I think I picked a pretty good race to be able to pick back up off of after the amazing race that was the Bristol Night Race. And I kind of got to see what will probably be the end of this Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott feud, at least what I think will be their feud, because for the second year in a row now, Kevin Harvick, when trying to dump somebody, or in the same race of him, dumping somebody to try and advance into the next round of the playoffs, it's backfired on him. Last year, when he was trying to spin Kyle Busch, he did it in the wrong part of the corner, and Kyle Busch was able to save it. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick wrecked on the front straightaway, which was beautiful to see as a Kyle Busch fan. And now this past race where Kevin Harvick dumped Chase Elliott, and when Chase Elliott was catching back up to Kevin Harvick, driving through the field, he managed to finish 12th today after having a car that looked completely cooked from the contact of the four. I'd like to believe that Kevin Harvick got scared that he was about to get drove into by Chase, so he probably locked up the brakes, and I think that's probably why he ended up wrecking into the wall. That's my guess, because I know that if somebody who was mad at me for a racing incident, and I was also mad at them, and then I proceeded to wreck them, and they looked like they might end up on being the wrong side of the playoff bubble. I know that if they were behind me, I'm still fighting for a playoff spot, I'd be very scared. So I don't think Happy is necessarily going to be feeling the way of his nickname after this weekend. And now to talk about Kyle Larson. I swear, this man has just been... It's a feeling of inevitability this entire season after that first win at Las Vegas. I don't know how, but this man just keeps managing to pull these wins out of his ass, and every time it infuriates me so much. He was literally last in a portion of this race, looking like he was going to miss the next round of the playoffs, which is a farce, but, it would have been a possibility because they were replacing the alternator belt on the 5. And that was in, I believe, the middle of stage 2, which I was not able to catch, but I'm just going to take the word of the commentators for it. And what does Kyle Larson do? He manages to drive up into the top 5, and then he passes Denny Hamlin after he chokes away a win once again. I don't know what happened on that last restart there, but he just totally gave that win away for free. Larson drove away with it. That's what I witnessed. The resilience of the whole 5 team to manage to pull that kind of win off after looking like they were going to DNF or probably finish in a 30th place position. I can't help but respect it. I hate Kyle Larson. I don't like drivers who are dominant, especially Kevin Harvick last year, and Kyle Larson is in a similar vein this year. And I'm kind of a fan of Denny Hamlin, so, the title rival is somebody I don't really like. But I just can't help but respect them after Darlington trying to pull a video game move off to win the race and almost completing it. And at Bristol, that was another win he just sniped out of thin air. I guess that's payback for the Pocono race he lost earlier this year on the final corner. But yeah, Kyle Larson, I think he's shaked off the choker label quite a bit, if you ask me. Now, I'm going to get to something a bit more controversial. Kyle Larson has 3 wins on the road course this year. That's the most out of anybody this year. And it's more than Chase Elliott this year, who is only 2 wins the entire season have been on road courses. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson has 4 other wins at ovals. Now, this might sound like heresy, but is it that crazy to suggest that Kyle Larson might just be knocking on the door of being the best road course racer in the Cup Series right now. He might just have finally gotten the equipment to showcase his talent fully. Or is this more of a case of Hendrick equipment just being so dominant at road courses that a great talent like Kyle Larson can hop in and he's just immediately going to set the world on fire, as you can see that he's been doing in general over the entire season. Now, you could say Chase Elliott has been having a down year this year, but Kyle Larson, and the same equipment as him, has won 5 more races, 4 more oval races, and 1 more road course race. He's also won at both Watkins Glen and the Charlotte Roval, which are typically 2 places that you would expect Chase Elliott to be winning at and dominating at. And here we have Kyle Larson, after about 10 months of not racing the NASCAR Cup Series. He's come in. He's taken the Hendrick team by storm. He's basically made it his team where he's the lead driver. And for the first time since about 2017, Chase Elliott hasn't been the top dog at Hendrick, which is something that a lot of us probably haven't been used to for a while, ever since maybe Jimmy Johnson won his 7th championship, or when he looked like a title contender in the first third of 2017. Now, it might be heresy to say that Kyle Larson is the best road course racer in the Cup Series right now, since we don't know if it's just Hendrick equipment at road course races being so good that it's allowing him to take his talent and apply it better. Although, I guess the argument of equipment is something that's a bit irrelevant. I could definitely say that Kyle Larson is building a very strong case to be the second best road course racer in the Cup Series right now. Earlier this year, I made a video about it, and now I'm probably going to have to revise it after this season just because it was before Watkins Glen, and there was about 2 to 3 races on road courses left, and it's definitely going to have to be revised. Also, there's going to have to be a conversation about who the top dog at Hendrick is now, because we have Kyle Larson just coming in and he looks like he's a championship contender and he's gonna be the next multi-time champion or something in NASCAR. He's also matched Chase Elliott's number of career wins. They're both at 13, and now there's a conversation to be had about who is the overall better driver when you factor in the seasons they've had this year and also over their entire career, because you can argue that Kyle Larson hasn't been able to display his full talent, you could say, because of being held back by cars that were inferior to Chase Elliott. But then again, Hendrick was struggling for a good portion of both of their careers. And now there's a very interesting case on who's the better driver overall, who's a better driver right now. And I might have to say Kyle Larson might just be the answer for both of them. I'm really not sure. But there's also the thing that 2 Hendrick cars have been eliminated from the playoffs in the round of 12 when we thought all 4 could possibly be making it to the round of 8. All Hendrick cars this year looked like championship contenders, and now half of their team is out halfway through the playoffs. You could argue that Alex Bowman, his wins were a bit fluky, but I think that no matter what, a win is a win, and you have to earn it somehow. And I think his inconsistency kind of did him in. But for William Byron, for about half the year, he was looking very strong, like he was going to be able to be a dark horse championship for contender. And now, well, he's out of the playoffs in the round of 12. And although he did give a really good effort this past race, he ultimately wasn't able to get to Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick in time, and he also spun out, I guess under his own pressure of trying to make it into the next round. And now there's only Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson left. Kyle Larson is, of course, about 60 points to the good, so unless you can't even say that he's practically locked in now with what happened to Kevin Harvick last year, but I'm going to just pencil in Kyle Larson into the championship 4, and if I regret it in 3 weeks, and that's my fault. But Chase Elliott, I'm not so sure if he's going to be able to make it into the championship 4. So perhaps, just like the previous couple of years, Hendrick's quote-unquote resurgence hasn't been as pronounced as we thought it would be. Perhaps it's just Kyle Larson taking his talents to South Beach, or Hendrick rather, and instead he's now the one carrying the team, quote-unquote. There's a lot to unpack from this race, and I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. So, if you have anything to say, leave it in the comments, and I'll see what you guys have to say, and maybe I'll reply. See ya.